That's such a bad pick.
Absolute Pirates killer. There is not a single.
That is so bad.
We all have those players in our heads that whenever they come up to bat against the Pittsburgh Pirates or are pitching against the Pirates on a certain day, you sadly know that the Pirates are in fact cooked, as they usually always are. This, of course, is what we are going to be focusing on for today's challenge. Today here on North Shore 9, we are going to be having our first annual Pirates Killer Draft. Let's get into the rules. Players will select 5 different members of their rosters. A player must draft 3 batters and 2 pitchers, and 2 members of a player's roster must be retired. These can be a mix of both groups or something like along the lines of a pitcher and a batter. Jim and Tyler do their best in this episode to be able to outdraft the other, so make sure to stick around to the end to let us know who had the best draft out of the 2 of them. Also, make sure to draft your team as we go down in the comments. Now let's get into today's challenge. Jim, who is your first pick and why?
All right. So my first pick is going to be the player with the highest weighted runs created plus against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who is active in Major League Baseball. And I didn't know this was the guy, but after doing some research, figured out who this was. And he's in the American League, so there's not a ton of playing time here, but he's played 12 games against the Pittsburgh Pirates, 56 plate appearances. He's hitting .429, 554 OBP, a 738 slugging percentage. He's got almost a 1,300 OPS against the Pirates in 12 games. I'm going with from the Detroit Tigers, Gleyber Torres is who I'm going with. Gleyber Torres, number 1 overall pick.
You would think a lot of that was from this last week, right?
You would think. Yeah.
Such a bad pick.
Absolute Pirates killer. There is not a single other active hitter in Major League Baseball with better numbers against the Pirates than Gleyber Torres.
How much of that came this past week in Detroit?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not going that deep into the research, but he is the current active Pirates killer in Major League Baseball.
You know what? I respect it. I respect the poll. I wasn't expecting that as the first overall pick. Tyler, you might have some good value here with pick number 2.
I'm out here. How many games?
12.
How is that killing the Pirates? They lose 12 games in 3 weeks.
No. I went with a minimum of 50 plate appearances. Torres meets that threshold, and he's absolutely killed them. He's killed us.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim.
There you go.
First off, let me ask this. Is this a snake draft or is it going back to Jim at the top? Okay. Just checking on that. I want to know the rule on that end. We're good. I'm going with Ian Happ. It's Ian Happ. It's the guy from Pittsburgh. 126 hits. How many home runs does Ian Happ have? 18 home runs in 115 games, 126 hits, hitting over 300. He is the current active player he's the Pirates killer of current active players. Plain and simple, it's Ian Happ. And when I think about guys that are Pirates killers, it's real easy to go with kind of the superstars. They do that to everybody. I'm thinking of guys that are a little bit under the radar. Happ's not a star by any means, but my God, is he a star against the Pirates. Ian Happ's the easiest. He was my number 1 off the board I would have taken no matter what. If I had the number 1 pick, it was going to be Ian Happ. Thank you, Jim, for screwing it all up.
It's a bad pick.
You're the Ben Sherrington of these drafts.
Ian Happ. Here's the deal. Ian Happ is the one who gets all the publicity as Pirates fans. He is the 3rd best Pirates hitter on the current Chicago Cubs. He's not even the best player on his team.
I think not even the best player he's given us.
Yeah,
not even the best player on his team, and it's not even close. There's 2 others that are better than Ian Happ on the Cubs currently.
Now, before we move on, I'm going to ask a question to the people in the comments watching this video, live or weeks later. Would you take Ian Happ as your first overall pick? Because of what he has done, it seems like every single time the Pirates are at least in Wrigley Field or even at PNC, like it seems like every single time he's up to bat in the Discord, people are assuming this guy is going yard. That's why I think he's a great pick. I mean, I'm being neutral here. I'm not going to show bias.
Oh,
But
I see here. I knew Ian Happ was probably going to be a pick, and I made sure I stayed away from him because he is an overrated Pirates killer. He's the most overrated Pirates killer there is. There are 2 current Cubs better than Ian Happ.
being known as an overrated Pirates killer.
Overrated Pirates killer.
That's a term I didn't think I've ever hear in my life.
Well, he
Overrated
is.
Pirates killer.
He is.
Jim doesn't know ball.
I'm just telling you. The thing about this is like you can quantify this,
He is hitting
and the numbers ain't adding up. What's he hitting?
316 against the Pirates.
Yeah, you're right. There's 2 other players on his team, one hitting 317 and another one hitting 333.
Oh,
But
I have one in my head.
we'll get to it. I don't want to give away picks. We're good.
Well, how do we know Jim's not going to take him right now?
Because I'm still not. They're still not good enough to be picked.
Ooh. Well, Jim, you're on the clock.
Right.
Second round.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with my first. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with current. I'm gonna stick with current players. Ex-Chicago Cub, currently injured all the time. Colorado Rocky, Chris Bryant. In 462 plate appearances, Chris Bryant, 351 batting average, 457 OBP, 600 slugging. That's a 1,057 OPS. That's about 100 points higher than Ian Happ, and his weighted runs created plus is about 30. That's about 20 points higher than Ian Happ's. So yeah, I'm gonna go Chris Bryant.
I think that's a really good pick, Jim. Really good pick there. A lot of value there. And really the value is there for you because your first overall pick was so bad.
Yeah.
Like if it would have went Happ and then Bryant, that would have been completely fine. Or Bryant then Happ, completely fine. You just screwed it all up with your first overall pick. Chris Bryant, good pick here. Can't argue with you. I just went Happ over him because Happ's still killing the Pirates. Bryant's kind of dead and gone.
So that is now 2 affiliated Chicago Cubs off the board at 1.5 picks into this. So Tyler, round up round 2.
Well, we're just going to keep rolling with the Cubs here. I'm going Nico Horner.
Still not the guy I'm thinking of.
Another one, though. I got to pull up his stats here. I just had him up.
Interesting.
Nico Horner is killing the Pirates over his career. He is hitting 353, 67 hits, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs, and 42 runs scored in 55 games.
4th best current Chicago Cub, Pirate killer, by the way. So good job getting 3 and 4.
He's hitting 353 and 55 games.
I'm aware. I'm looking at all the numbers right now. He's number 4.
Why don't we just pick the Cubs?
We could. We really could. This could be an all Cubs draft if we really wanted it to be.
So Nico Horner's off the board. Tyler's second pick. 3 affiliated Cubs are off the board already. Still no one on the Reds, Cardinals, or Brewers. I'm kind of surprised there because there's a couple names. Jim, each of you actually both still have your 2 retired guys. 3 picks left. No pitchers yet as well. We already have 2 bats off the board. So Jim, you're up next. Round 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna clear out my last active player, and we're also gonna go with the first affiliated Cincinnati Red, but also Chicago Cub thrown in the mix there as well. I wanted to go 1 starter, 1 reliever with these pitchers, so we're gonna go with Aroldis Chapman as one of these guys. 49 games against the Pirates in his career, 49 innings. 84 strikeouts. He strikes out 15.4 batters per 9 innings, and he's got a 0.92 earned run average against the Pirates. So he had that one year with Pittsburgh, but as far as facing the Pirates, it doesn't really get much better than that.
So
it's a good pick.
His pitcher. That is a great pick. I wasn't expecting Chapman. So that is our actual first bench Harrington affiliated player on the Pirates all-time killer draft.
It is.
So we have someone more current Boston Red Sox also having another solid. It's Aroldis Chapman. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. So Tyler, you're up next, ending it out in round 3.
Yeah, that was a good pick there, Jim. Do I want to go pitcher here or do I want to round it out with my hitters? I only need 1 more hitter. Jim only needs 1 more hitter. I got a good group, I think. So I'll probably pass. I'll go pitcher. I have a good list here. I'm going to go with German Marquez. 189 ERA, 7 games. One of his 4 complete games was against the Pirates. Not a very good pitcher, kind of that mold. Like, he's fine, but against the Pirates, he is lights out.
Okay. German Marquez. That was a name I honestly forgot. I wasn't expecting to hear Marquez.
He fits the active pitcher role too.
Yeah.
Still, somehow.
So we are down to only retired guys left. So we saved, honestly, the guys people are going to not want to reminisce about at this point of the video. These guys are coming up last. So, Jim, let's get to our retired guys. 2 pitchers for you, 1 of each for Tyler.
All right, so there were a few ways to go with this. Marquez was a good pick. Like he was on my short list there with pitchers. There's a couple other retired pitchers who were slightly better than Marquez, but I'm gonna go with the quantity and the quality pick with this one instead of just the kind of the shorter. Not like there's a guy who is a Hall of Famer who started 7 games and just insane numbers. So like, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go with a guy who was playing in a different era, live ball era, lots of homers, lots of hits, faced some Pirates teams that had some pretty good hitters on him. Pitched 28 games against the Pirates in his career, started 20 of them. He went 14-3 with a 2.38 earned run average. I'm going to go with Mike Hampton. Mike Hampton, Astro, Rocky, in the division with the Astros for a good bit of time before they moved to the AL. But I mean, a good solid pitcher throughout his career, but when he faced the Pirates, he was kind of on another level.
I like that pick. Tyler,
I'm going to win this draft so easily. I don't know how we're deciding who wins, but I'm going to win.
We'll leave it up to the viewers.
All right, so what do I need still here?
You need 2 retired players, 1 pitcher, and I think 1 batter.
All right. We're going to go with we're going to go pitcher, I think, here. And let me just decide which route I want to go with, because I got 2 in my brain. I'm going Jake Arrieta. I'm going Jake Arrieta because he literally killed the Pirates. Like, they haven't been relevant since he killed them. Arrieta career 2.90 ERA against them. Obviously, what happened in 2015. The team hasn't really been relevant since. Yeah, Jake Arrieta, he killed him. He killed the Pirates.
Just think of the wild card game.
Yep, they have not been relevant since that moment.
Great pick.
I think out of him and Mike Hampton for our first 2 retired guys, I think Jake Arrieta is going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. I think that is the name. When you hear that, you don't even want to say that out loud for what he has done to this team. Jim, you're up.
I need a batter, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So typically whenever you think of retired hitter, killed the Pirates, first thing that pops in your head is Albert Pujols, right? I'm going to give you another name of another guy who has a higher on-base percentage than Albert Pujols. He's got a higher OPS than Albert Pujols. He's got a weighted runs created plus about 20 points higher than Albert Pujols. He hit .333 with a .478 on-base percentage and a .648 slugging percentage against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm talking about the one and only Daniel Vogelbach.
Oh my gosh.
Vogelbach.
Okay.
Absolute Pirate killer. A 206 career weighted runs created plus against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I wasn't expecting to hear, I think, assistant to the hitting coach, Daniel Vogelbach.
Even better, 69 at bats. Good, nice number there. 4 homers, 5 doubles, 16 RBIs. Just a machine.
That's the second Ben Cherington affiliated name.
Yeah, and Jim, you know why this pick works too is because he does continue to kill the Pirates, maybe indirectly. And it's probably not Bogey's fault here, but this
Right.
offense still stinks, and he's
It's
part
still
of it.
it's still funny just looking at him in the dugout. Like it
Oh, yeah.
doesn't make sense, but I love it at the same time because it doesn't make sense. It's just
You should-
hilarious.
You should have flipped your hat around just for the pick.
That's it right there. No, when I saw that though, like, when I looked at all this up, like Daniel Vogelbach, the 9th best weighted runs created plus against the Pittsburgh Pirates since the year 1990. Wild stuff. The team he has the best numbers against in his career are the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Tyler, final pick of the draft. It's all yours.
Yep, I can go a couple routes here. Jim has gone the route of the big numbers against the Pirates. I'm trying to go more moments. And guys, you really remember their times of killing our favorite team. I'm between two guys here. Actually, there's probably three on here I could go with. I am going to go with a guy that we just love to hate. I'm going with Brandon Phillips. Brandon Phillips is a career 740 OPS guy.
You need
He's
a
only a
pitcher, don't
7.
you?
What's that?
Don't you need a pitcher?
Do I?
Uh-oh.
No, I just took Arrieta, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you went Marquez and Arrieta.
Yeah,
Never mind,
yeah.
you're good. You're
Yep.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
We almost had some confusion here.
I was like, wait, I thought I needed a hitter.
No,
Okay.
you're good. You're good. My bad.
Brandon Phillips is a career 740 OPS guy, which is just about as average as you can get for the era he played in. And he is a 740 OPS guy because he played against the Pittsburgh Pirates 177 times. 313 career average against them, 222 hits, 27 home runs, 110 RBIs. He just killed them defensively. Greg Brown and Bob Walk and Steve would get angry at him constantly because he would showboat. He just killed this team and he killed our hearts and souls. But also, we did get the final laugh, so maybe it's not as good of a pick as I thought there.
You know, it's funny. If you weren't going to say Brandon Phillips, I actually had him up as a pick that you guys didn't say. Because I have a close friend that despises Brandon Phillips for all the
Can't
things
stand
he
him.
has done against the Pirates. And you would think, like, he's only played for teams in Ohio against the Pirates.
Yeah.
Cleveland and
can't stand him.
Cincinnati.
Can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would've
I'm gonna
loved
say
him
it's a
if
bad
he was
pick.
Pirate, though.
I'm gonna say it's a bad pick.
Well, you're a bad picker, too.
Hitter-wise, this is one I always bring up when we're playing the Cubs. And I'm actually very upset none of you picked him. It is Japanese phenom Seiya Suzuki. This, in my opinion, is worse than Ian Happ to play.
It is.
In his literal first game against the Pirates, I think he hit 2 home runs. His first big league homers were against the Pittsburgh Pirates. When you look at his career numbers against the Pirates, 42 games, 167 official ABs, 191 plate appearances, 53 hits, 28 of those singles, 14 doubles, 2 triples, 9 homers, 32 runs batted in. He's stolen 4 bases, 19 walks. He struck out 37 times. So here's the slash line. 317 average, an OBP of 387, a 587 slugging percentage, and an OPS of 974. Seiya Suzuki is just a pure Pirates killer. I am hoping that the Cubs like to act cheap and let him leave in a couple years. I think they have another year with Suzuki, if I'm not mistaken. But man, this guy is just the Pirates killer. I think he's the guy right now. So Jim says 2 years left.
No, he's the number 2 Pirates killer
Number
on
2.
the Cubs.
Did we
This
even
is why,
say
like, this is why Happ was a bad pick, because Suzuki is a better one, and the better one than that is
Who did we
Dansby
for-
Swanson.
Dansby
Yeah,
Swanson?
but I don't really consider Dansby one because, like,
He
it's
is,
so
though.
new.
1,000. He's 59 games, 257 plate appearances,
But it's
333, 398. He's 628 slugging. He's got 1,026 OPS against the Pirates. Dansby
Yeah.
Swanson, the number 1 Cubs killer that no one actually realizes is the number 1 Pirates killer on the Cubs.
Anything before we go, guys, that I forgot?
No, just hey, I know Tyler's trying to tug at your heartstrings, but just look at the numbers. Look at the numbers before you pick a winner.
Okay.
Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Don't trust the numbers. Ben Sherrington trusts numbers. We trust our eyeballs.
Hey.
We saw these things happen.
Just because he's from Pittsburgh, don't let that pull at your heartstrings when you're picking who kills them the most.
You see what happens here? I've got guys teaming up on me now.
Hey, if you squint hard enough, it's there, as Ben Sherrington has said many times.
You've got to be comfortable saying no to voting for Tyler.
You have to be comfortable just saying no.
I've ran 100 simulations. I win this thing 90 out of 100 times.
Well, that does it here for today's challenge on North Shore 9. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below about who won today's draft, because I'm not going to be the one to decide, because I'm just the moderator. Was it Jim's draft that was headlined by Daniel Vogelbach, or was it Tyler who headlined his draft with Brandon Phillips of those Cincinnati Reds we all love to hate? So comment down below also your thoughts about who they forgot to draft, because I know a lot of you out there are probably screaming that they forgot a certain guy by the name of Albert Pujols. Make sure to comment down below also your thoughts about future episodes of these challenges that you would love to see and what you think we should do next. Thank you all as always for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, follow us on all our socials, and we will see you next time. And as always, let's go Bucs.